Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The Seven. Let's get a look at the Big Seven stories right now. And topping the list for us tonight, we brought you breaking news at 4 o'clock that Bebo's Café has been closed down under the state nuisance law. Now, the Knox County District Attorney's Office calling it a haven for criminal activity. You know, we've been digging deeper into the court document and making that request, and the list of dozens of times that police or deputies have been called out. Now, in April of last year, managers told police that an upset customer fired shots from a car after leaving the parking lot. Less than 2 weeks later, officers were back when a security guard was attacked. In May of last year, the owner, according to the DA's office, told police he was going to rearrange the parking lot for added security, record license plates on camera, and prosecute all crimes on the property, but that never happened. And the list goes on, with a person found shot to death in August, more reports of violence, continuing even after the latest shooting in May that led to a deadly crash. Now, police are still looking for the suspect. Take a look here. Jaheim Houston, indicted on gun charges and 2 counts of attempted murder. Bebo's owners were given a court date of July 7th to make their case of why the business should not be closed permanently. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the decision. Also on the Big 7 is 7, more new information now on another breaking story we've been following for you. Rescuers sharing a better look and details about how they managed to pull someone out of a transmission fluid storage tank. Rural Metro Fire called out to handle this rescue and having to use some special tools to make it happen. You can see in some of the pictures that were shared from the scene, and you might be able to tell from these views that this is a huge tank, 40 feet tall, but fortunately with only about 2 inches of fluid actually in the bottom. That's not the only break crews caught in this scary situation.
First thing we always do anytime you've got anything like that, a technical rescue in a confined space, is you check the air to make sure that the air is good, that it's not an IDLH or immediately dangerous to life and health environment. Once we determine that through our meters, then we ensured that we had some good ventilation, we had good airflow into the tank, and we were able to set up a tripod and lower our rescuers down to assess the injuries for the gentleman, who was conscious and alert.
Another challenge, the narrow opening of the tank, 16 to 18 inches across to get the rescuer in and then both out. Rural Metro says the worker was a subcontractor, and with the rescue taking about 2 hours, crews had to give the victim medication while he was still inside the tank. By the way, this all happening at the Exidy America plant. It's a manufacturer of car parts, which is at the East Bridge Industrial Park in the Mascot community. Now, the worker's injuries not thought to be life-threatening. Another rescue to tell you about in the Big 7 tonight, this time in the Cumberland Gap National Historic Park. Tennessee National Guard telling us that a medical flight crew based out of Knoxville flew up to just over the Virginia side of the state line, where the 22-year-old hiker had apparently suffered a head injury. This happened yesterday morning, with medics lowered down by rope to check out the hiker and then load them onto a stretcher. National Guard helicopter then flying them back to UT Medical Center. Next in the Big 7, we're getting local responses on the decision today from the U.S. Supreme Court limiting affirmative action when it comes to admissions at universities. The High Court saying race cannot be a factor in achieving diversity, overturning cases going back to, well, some 45 years. Now, the case coming out of policies at Harvard and the University of North Carolina. UT sending out a letter today from President Randy Boyd. It says the university will get into the details in the weeks ahead to figure out if this will affect UT campuses. Boyd going on to say, quote, "Our focus on access, retention, and engagement, as well as our commitment to the mission of the UT system, remains unchanged, to serve all Tennesseans and beyond through education, discovery, and outreach." Now, Senator Marsha Blackburn released a statement saying affirmative action forces colleges to put students into a box. It discredits the hard work and diverse backgrounds that countless applicants have and requires colleges to value one single characteristic above others. This is wrong and un-American, end quote. Meanwhile, we heard from 2 local advocacy groups, one working with Spanish-speaking students in connection with Ola Lakeway, and we also heard from the local NAACP chapter.
How the law does demand that race not to be a factor in its application, that just is not the reality. There are still systems and individuals who think it is their right to withhold from minorities, particularly people of color, to withhold from those groups the privileges and immunities that are guaranteed to them by the Constitution.
Or that this decision by the Supreme Court will probably lead to less representation for students of color on these college campuses. And so certainly very disappointed by this decision and very concerned about what are the long-term implications for both our state and for our country.
Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for the majority, saying by using race and admissions, the two programs violated the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. Justice Sonia Sotomayor did not mention the Constitution in her dissent, but said the decision rolls back decades of precedent and momentous progress, end quote. Well, an advocacy group for clergy abuse survivors talking about the future of the Knoxville Catholic Diocese after a leadership shakeup for the local faith community. Bishop Richard Stika revealed Tuesday, as we've been telling you, that he was retiring after 14 years of serving as bishop of the Knoxville Diocese, pointing to a string of health concerns, but also admitting that the toll of controversy and criticism was on his mind, that coming due to claims about his handling of sex abuse scandals, with lawsuits arguing that he and the diocese worked to cover them up. Well, among the voices pushing for Stika's departure, a group calling itself Survivors of Those Abused by Priests, or SNAP. We showed you the group's protests earlier in the month. Today, we heard from Dave Wells, the former religious education leader at the Cathedral of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus here in Knoxville. Wells says the group's goal has been to get Stika out.
Behind the scenes, we were able to build a broad coalition from very traditional Catholics to very progressive Catholics, all of whom agreed on one thing: Stika must go. We're here today because Rick Stika is not.
The Vatican is now investigating Stika over the incident. He is also facing a lawsuit accusing him of covering up an alleged rape of a diocese employee by a seminarian. And last night, we brought this to you live, the first Mass following Stika's resignation, a first chance really to hear from Stika's temporary replacement, Archbishop Shelton Fabre, hosting the Mass to introduce himself to Knoxville's Catholic community. Fabre is the current Archbishop of Louisville. During the Mass, commenting on his predecessor during last night's service.
I also want to extend gratitude to Bishop Stika for his service to this local church. I pray God's blessings upon Bishop Stika as he moves into the next phase of his life.
Archbishop Fabre's appointment will last until Pope Francis names a new bishop of Knoxville. In addition to his new role, Fabre will remain the Archbishop of Louisville. Another Big Seven story we're watching closely for you. A little boy doing better tonight, we understand, but still recovering after being shot inside a community center. That's what police tell us as we followed up on the investigation, which also led to a 14-year-old being arrested. Knoxville police said the older boy had 2 guns in his backpack, that the shooting was accidental and the victim was not targeted. The terrifying event took place with kids in the building at the YMCA Phyllis Wheatley Center on South Cruz Street. Now, we wanted to see how parents can help their kids after witnessing a traumatic event like yesterday's shooting. Shannon Dow with the McNabb Center had this advice for talking to a child after witnessing or learning about trauma.
A lot of children will have these curiosities and have questions and create a narrative. You know, they'll create the story. Children are very imaginative, and they'll create a story and wonder. And so it's really important that as adults, caregivers are able to open up conversations and talk with children about some of the feelings and thoughts that they are experiencing.
Dow saying today children often see news stories and images of shootings and wonder if it will ever happen to them. Also, it's important for parents to check in on their kids after something like this happens and to look for red flags in a child's behavior as they cope with what they saw. Here are a few of those red flags parents need to keep an eye on. Possible internalization of reaction that could lead to withdrawal from normal everyday activities. Children may internalize their reaction with possible disruptive behavior. And if you see any change in characteristics in your child, open the opportunity for them to share what they are feeling after witnessing such an event. Today, we also learned more about the safety review underway within the Wheatley Center. The center has systems and protocols in place, including a single monitored exit/entry under consideration. Also, lockers at the entrance, which would mean backpacks and other items don't go into the common areas with children. Remember, the guns were found in the suspect's backpack after the shooting. Also, the center is looking at options for metal detector security. The center says it will consult with staff, board of directors, and families, but also communicate with the public on the way forward. Of course, we will keep you posted through that process and the court case coming out of this shooting. We continue to see smoke from the Canadian wildfires in the skies around East Tennessee. Take a look at some of this video our photographer captured for you this morning. You can see just how hazy the air is, the air quality index in the unhealthy for sensitive groups category.